What's up, everyone? Welcome to Plastic Cards Podcast, the show where we break down the video game news of the week. My name's Fonzie, and I'm joined by my co-host, indie game dev extraordinaire, Gavin Jones. Gavin, how are you?
Just thick as can be. Thick as can be. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Just living life, hanging out, working my way through The Last of Us. We were talking about that. It was a game I was just could not wait to play. Now I'm trying to like savor it. I did go like super hard at the beginning. I'm trying to like take my time now because I don't want it to end.
I mean, is it like when you say super hard, is this like you're skipping stuff, or what was that sort of mean in context?
I meant that I was the opposite of that. I was really taking my time and just like, adventuring around and looking at every nook and cranny. And I think I've kind of sped it up a little bit at this point. But
sure.
yeah, I was like really taking my time with it.
I get that. That's definitely, I reached that point with definitely Breath of the Wild after a point where I was just trying to explore everything I could and really take my time. And there's definitely that point of, all right, fuck it, time to end.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Nice. Well, how you been?
Worse.
How's your week?
It was good. It's good. Just busy. Playing a bunch of games.
Yeah.
I got a full list here for you. Because we had the whole
lay it on me.
All the demos coming out on Steam. Like, it had to be well over 1,000 demos. I was scrolling down the list.
Jeez.
I never reached the bottom, and I was only going for like images that like drew my eye. If it was not enough, I just didn't give a fuck. So I played so many demos. I also bought 2 games based on sort of that little pre thing. So I tell you, I've been playing the 2 I bought. So I bought Maximum Action, which is very easy to break. I can hop out the level and have to restart the whole fucking thing whenever I want, which is annoying. But it's a super fun game. It's sort of like Max Payne on cocaine.
Really?
I don't know how to describe it.
Did you buy that one?
Yeah, I bought that one. It's super cheap. And it was in that First Blood kind of demo that was on the PC thing, because that happened. Was that this last week, right?
Yeah.
Or am I a week behind? Then I played Dusk, which has been out forever, but they just showed it again, so I finally got around to playing it, which is really, really fun. Classic old school kind of game, a lot like Quake. Then I played Yinglet, which is by the creator of something. I should know. It's a legendary creator. I love some of their previous work, and I've forgotten it. But
is it called Yinglet?
Yeah. I'm gonna type it in chat for you. So that one was sort of a thing, and it's very pretty. I didn't really enjoy it that much though. That played the 30XX pre-alpha because I love 20XX. It's a fantastic like roguelite Mega Man style game.
Right.
And it was really, really good. A lot of people didn't like the graphics, so they're trying to do that with like more Mega Man style graphics. And I gotta say, I didn't really like it that much.
Really, this one looked really interesting. I didn't realize there was a demo. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, but yeah, it just didn't have the same feel as the previous one. So I don't know. It's still it's not even in early access yet. So and they made the last one phenomenal. So I'm sure they'll get it good.
What felt off about it?
So the kind of the controls and like the camera zoom and just a bunch of things really all at once.
Gotcha.
So it's hard to describe. Then we had Discworld, which is by the creator, some of the creators of Minute. I believe it's still Young Wilhelm, and what's his girlfriend or his wife's name? I think she goes by Kitty Callis. And it's still super. It's not for me, but I imagine it's for a lot of people. It's like a bullet hell where you don't fight back, basically. So you have to dodge the blades in the room for so many seconds.
I remember this, yeah.
Yeah, and then you get to move on. And I thought it would be a bit different than that. So I guess I'm just not into just dodging blades for a little bit.
Right.
I played one that definitely caught my eye. It's called Just Die Already, which is, I guess, just a game about being an old person in a city full of old people. Um, and I don't know, trying not to die.
Yeah.
It didn't really make a lot of sense. But that being said, the animation system was pretty neat because you could get injured, you could lose a leg, and still find a way to animate, or your knees could be popping out. Your knee bones could be popping out of your knees, and it'd find a way to animate you. So it was pretty clever with that. You could even just flop on the ground and roll around, which is as just a stump until you bleed out. So that was pretty neat.
Do you
Um,
control one of these old people, or is it a bunch of
yeah,
them?
just one of these
Okay.
old people. But that being said, there's not a full game there.
Mm.
So
Is it kind
that's
of like
what.
Goat Simulator kind of thing?
Yeah, I definitely give it a Goat Simulator. That being said, Goat Simulator did manage to make a full game out of it, but I don't really know that that's got that. And then definitely Skatebird, which is man, I was so excited for Skatebird, um,
Are you gonna
but
break my heart right now?
yeah, it
What the? God damn
I don't know
it!
if it controls terribly or if just the arena they were putting it in is too small. Like if you're gonna demo that game and get people excited, that's not the way to do it. Like make a new level or something. It just it it felt like it hasn't been worked on since those like since we saw it originally is what it felt
Interesting.
like, which makes me sad. And I hope that's not what it turns into. But it'd be weird, like if you like jumping towards a grind rail and you hit it at like less than 45 degree angle, you'll like just like do it. I don't know. It didn't make a lot of sense. Um,
Interesting. So the physics, the kind of the way you'd snap in, felt weird, fell
yeah.
off.
Honestly,
That's disappointing.
it's harder to stay on your board than it is to um do most anything else in the game. It's so easy. It doesn't have enough wiggle room like a lot of these other games do. So that was kind of disappointing.
Ah,
Um, but we'll see from there. But now I've kind of saved the best for last. So I haven't played them, but I think next week I'll be in a much better mood about it because down the pipe we have, and I'll go through these quick. We have Gestalt, Steam and Cinder, which is really cool 2D action game. I'm very excited about. Gloomwood, which is like a thief style, almost like Bioshocky game, but it's sort of in that dusk style. It's pretty cool. Haven, which is by some really awesome developers, and it's about this weird like couple going through on this adventure. Cat, can you not drink my water? Um, and that looks gorgeous. Then there's Grounded, which is by Obsidian, um,
mm.
which it's that one where you're shrunk down and you're fighting against like bugs and stuff.
Oh, you got to
Um,
play that?
well, I haven't played it yet, but I hear the 30-minute demo is super cool. Hopefully, I'm still able to play it. I assume they don't shut it down. Um, oh shit! Did they shut it down? So I just don't get to play it now.
Now, if you already have it downloaded, is that fine, or it's like they will actually remove the ability to play it?
Mm,
That would suck.
okay, so for two of these demos, so Gestalt, Steam and Cinder, I have downloaded, but I can't play it. And Grounded, I have downloaded, but can no longer play it. So that sucks.
Damn.
I hear was a really good third, and the other one was going to be Inmost, which you should check that one out. Just Inmost uh,
Inmost. Okay.
is one of the most brilliant uses of pixel art in a game. Damn, I was looking forward to playing that.
Whoa. Okay. I'm
Right?
pulling up footage of it right now. Yeah. No, that's a huge bummer that they didn't really explain very well that these were timed. Then it seems like.
Yeah. Damn it. Okay, so I guess I get Gloomwood and Heaven still to, or yeah, Haven still to play. Yeah.
Why do you think they went with some kind of timed exclusive for these demos? What does it matter? Why not just keep them on Steam?
I mean, I guess it just makes it more of an event. Um, yeah.
I guess, but then if you didn't, have the time or whatever, you're just shit out of luck. Like that's kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
Inmost game looks really, really rad.
right? So
It's
that was my
almost
big.
like
Go ahead.
it just reminds me of the same color palettes of like the Game Boy, but if you put like a 4K screen on an original Game Boy,
Yeah.
and still like somehow it would create these visuals, like Wow, looks awesome. But
right?
yeah, sucks. Can't
I,
play it.
I'm very impressed by like some of their outlines and the way that with a lot of the stuff they are respecting at least color palette choice while they're doing stuff that definitely the Game Boy couldn't do, at least with a lot of the art that they're putting in there, it could kind of do it. Like the main characters seems to be respecting a lot of the rules, um, while all the effects are not. So
Gotcha.
that's sort of a neat. So that was my big long over the top spiel. That was way too long. What have you been playing?
I mean, nothing exciting. At least I dig the variety that you got to play over the weekend.
Right.
I tried two games. I was kind of going back and forth between them. At least today, for sure. Today, I got to try a lot of Wave Break. That was that game from is it
Oh, that's
Functronic
right.
Labs
And that launches
that
tomorrow, doesn't it?
it launched today. Yeah, so it's available. It's on Stadia, um,
Oh, but
and
I
you can
can't
play
get
it.
it unless I have Stadia.
Yeah, I think I still have a membership that carried over, so I've been playing that.
Gotcha. How did it play on Stadia, do you feel?
So the same feelings you have with skateboard, I feel like I'm having the same kind of issues where it does work for the most part, but there's times where it's like super frustrating with like the physics and nailing the moves they want you to do. But there's also just like the steep learning curve, I think. And so I'm trying to get
Mm,
over that. I'm having fun when it works, but there's other times where, and sometimes the camera is kind of just doing whatever the fuck it wants to do, which is annoying when you're trying to set up these lines, trying to hit these combos and stuff when your camera just decides to just turn around on you. But
yeah.
no, it's cool. I just want to spend more time and kind of figure out, is it me causing this? Is there this learning curve I just need to get over? I haven't had much time with it, but it's still beautiful. It runs really well on Stadia. I don't get the sense that like there's lag, input lag, or anything like that. There's a little bit of pixelation I notice. So I wonder if we get the eventually when we get the like actual release on PC and on console, I feel like it's gonna look a little bit better visually, but it still doesn't look bad. It's just like you can tell there's kind of like stuff going on, like fragments of whatever the having to send it over the internet. But
Yeah,
yeah,
artifacting. Or maybe not
artifacting. There you go.
artifacting. There's a better term. I mean, it's just lower bit rate essentially, I guess. That's pretty cool
There,
though. That I mean, I would rather if I was playing, I'd definitely have the resolution and some of that stuff go on rather than my gameplay go to crap. I'd rather have the
right.
visuals go slightly to crap. So that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, it seems like they know how to have that right give for and keeping the performance going and just drop the visuals a bit. But yeah, playing that, and then for the bulk of my time was really The Last of Us. I started it Thursday night, and I was super crunk. I played like maybe, and I took the next day off, and I played like maybe 4 hours that first night, and just kind of have been chipping away at it. And it's really fun. They do make these changes that, of course, leaving all spoilers out of the question. They
Right.
make these changes that are interesting and I think going to be controversial. But even for me, I kind of had to take myself out of it and keep playing and see how it unfolds, and just
Hmm.
trust Naughty Dog, you know. But it's still very fun. Very, it's like playing a next gen game now. Like as I'm playing it, it's so beautiful. I keep getting blown away at how this thing is actually running, how they're actually
Yeah.
getting it to run on a current gen system. And it's, man, just not only the visuals but like the mechanics and the animations. It's just like I'm playing a next gen game. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah. No, it's this seems like the furthest the PS4 is going to get pushed this
Right.
generation. I mean, we'll see with Cyberpunk, but I would think Cyberpunk has so much going on. I think as gorgeous as Cyberpunk looks, I think it's going to look, especially on consoles, more tame in the final release when you're putting it on your actual 4K TV or what have you, than it does in a lot of this press thing. Um, but yeah, Last of Us. I mean, they're making it for one console. They have one target that they can just absolutely destroy. That being said, I think it's interesting looking at whatchamacallit, Digital's.
Digital Foundry.
Yeah, when they were talking about how the PS4 Pro actually has more lag issues than the regular PS4, which was sort of unique, and uh, I'm kind of surprised Naughty Dog didn't necessarily catch it. But that being said, it sounds like it's pretty minimal. It's only when you're in water,
Right.
not a big deal.
Yeah, I watched that same video and I didn't notice that in the water as they were maybe counting frames and all that stuff being like super technical. To me, visually, I didn't see the dip in or change resolution or whatnot. I didn't see that. change at all. So I feel like it just looked awesome from the beginning. There's even more water areas, so it's like it gets super technical with what the PS4 is having to render, and I think it did fine. I've also noticed people uploading online like videos of their PS4 trying to run the game, and the fans just like blaring super loud. And I've never had my PS4 do that, but apparently people are experiencing that, and it's just incredibly loud. It's kind of nuts how loud it is, but mine's running fine. So it's kind of weird. Any game that is graphically intense, say like this, or when I was playing Death Stranding, the only time my fans really kick into the next gear is when I'm in the menus. I don't know. It must be what because it has to like offload stuff or save things into memory. I don't know, but for some reason, dipping into the menus causes it to work overtime compared to when you're actually in an open world where it has to render everything. It does fine in that sense.
That's strange. I mean, I guess if they're using some sort of solution, like I've always been told that the solution that turns like essentially like Flash programs into UI for games, which a lot of people, I don't know if they still use it. It's called Scaleform. It used to be in like everything, and it's how you could make super amazing UIs really quickly and have all the brilliance of Flash and be very programmable. But I've heard it was very, 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 very unoptimized. Like you're doing, 1,000 triangles when 100 will do.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if that's still what's running or causing that issues, but it seems like for you, it sounds like you're saying this is a consistent issue across games, which I wouldn't think everyone. I don't know. I'm out of the game industry too long. I don't know this stuff. Never
I'm
worked
not
on
sure.
AAA.
Yeah, there's something about how they're optimizing stuff and it comes to menus. I don't know what it is hardware wise that is happening, but yeah, I've noticed that in two games for sure where it's like these are AAA games, are graphically intense, and it has harder time with the menus when nothing's being rendered, but it's just like counterintuitive.
Somebody's gonna have to come. I actually had a professor that was working on like a solution. But that being said, they were working on it. I hear their solution had their own frustration. So it was like super optimized, but it sounds like it wasn't user friendly. So that's somebody's got to find a way to, have this user friendly. You can iterate super quickly, but at the same time have it run incredibly fast.
Right.
I guess it'll just have to be its own. I don't know. It'll probably have to be its own programming language or something like that, like HTML5. I'm not saying they're not using that right now. They might be.
Mm.
It's all confusing and way over my head.
Well, I'm not even in the room. You're at least in the room, in the back. I'm outside mopping the floors of the conversation. So,
Were you mopping the floors outside?
hey,
Is your car honking at you? I'm mopping here.
There's dust out there. It gets dirty.
Actually,
I did notice. Oh yeah, go for it.
Oh, I was driving to the store the other day. I saw this girl out on out on the sidewalk, just slowly as possible, sweeping the grass off of the sidewalk, and I couldn't help but think, how fucking high are you right now? Just out of your mind.
Was it like just the actual, public sidewalk, or was it the entranceway to their house?
No, it was a sidewalk. Like I guess
okay.
they it looked like they just mowed it, and maybe some blades got on the sidewalk, and she was just gonna, as slowly as possible,
Right.
sweep this yard.
Yeah, I don't know what she's on. I'll take some of it, but I'm not sure what she's on. But I did notice that with The Last of Us, people were review bombing it. I don't know if you caught that online. Of course, like the big outlets giving 10s out of 10s, 9 out of 10, that kind of thing. But that's the Metacritic side, but like the user side was giving it zeros, threes. But people, like, it was like instantly too, as soon as the game came out. So they weren't playing it; they were just deciding to, because they didn't like whatever story stuff or narrative stuff. They decided to just review bomb it to shit. But it's frustrating. It's just dumb. Do we really maybe even need the user side of that website, or like how do you make sure that that can't happen or that doesn't mean anything?
I don't think you can ever really get rid of it, user
Mm,
bombing. But that's why it's nice to have a user side that's separate from the
right.
critic side, and that's about all you can do. And then you put your plastic spoons over your eyes and you block out the haters. Uh,
Yeah, that's how I live my life.
yeah, you just can't.
I figured, yeah.
But you got to. I mean, that's the nice thing is at least, um, consumers are pretty savvy, right? Like when you see something has an abysmal score, generally you're going to check the comments and see why. Are
Right.
people giving something constructive, or are they just, it's got poopy dicks, and
I feel like that crowd would actually prefer if that was in the game, but if there's anything that like contradicts their ideology or makes them think at all, they just, they think they're being told some kind of like political stuff, so they just like review bomb and they just
right,
don't think.
right, yeah. And
But
who knows? Like anything can be political nowadays. You just
yeah,
put a
everything.
pineapple on your pizza. Oh yeah, are you one of them?
Are you an ISIS? You put pineapple on your pizza?
That's the test. It's like
Yeah.
it or whatever with the whole like, or no, that's the thing where you like put the metal in the blood and then
Oh,
it
yep, in the
jumps.
blood. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's to my CIA or FBI agent watching me. Hi.
Yeah.
That was a good picture I saw from the riots of like one protester. He looked like he was throwing up his hands like he was going to give a hug, and then there was a guy in full riot gear throwing up his hands like he's going to give a hug. It's just like when you finally get to meet your FBI agent or CIA. I don't know which one it's supposed to be.
Yeah, CIA, I think would be the best one.
Some person that does not want to be listening to that phone call. There's no way any of these people want to be on these calls.
You'd have to imagine, yeah, it's just a lot of boring, just nonsense. Unless they have software that just kind of skims for these, hot button words, and that's how they do it. Because it's got to be a lot of data that they're going through if they're honestly like recording tons of stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and probably gets a start, and maybe they're like, maybe they're even recording it, so they go through it later, and okay, how many of these words were said? Did they say jelly bean alpha? That's how you know.
Yeah.
That's how you know he's one of them jelly bean alphas. That's Antifa if I ever heard of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Gavin, so yeah, we got a lot of news. We can chip into it a little bit. Bunch of stuff happening. This one's kind of a lighter one first. Are you a big Crash Bandicoot fan at all?
Never played it.
Never played any of them?
The most I've ever done is like, you're going to Walmart, you're a little kid, you're gonna crane your neck up to play that TV screen. So I probably played that demo about 1 million times.
Okay, that means you're in the clear because everyone's been baptized that way, being at whatever at the Walmart with the we all can get some kind of lawsuit going because we all did that. So that means you're right on track. But.
Which is funny because they put those screens at like face level nowadays. So what was the point? I mean, I guess they wanted to keep them away from other. I don't know.
I think it was people that didn't give two shits, and they said, "Yeah, put it up there. Who cares? Like, they're 3 feet tall, these kids, but we're gonna put the screens on the ceilings and just say, hey, fuck you." But I bring that up because we had a reveal over the weekend. Crash Bandicoot 4, it's about time. First gameplay details revealed. So the article here is from Jonathan Dorbush of IGN.com. Activision has announced Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, a brand new canonical sequel to Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. Spyro Reignited Trilogy developer Toys for Bob is behind the brand new adventure, which is set to be released on October 2nd, 2020 for PS4 and Xbox. It's About Time for $60. It's About Time is built from the ground up as a new experience in the spirit of the original 3 Crash games developed by Naughty Dog for the original PlayStation. Players can play either as Crash or Coco Bandicoot for the full adventure, with other playable characters thrown into the mix like Neo Cortex. Featuring a brand new art style, making a departure from vicarious visions created for the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy, It's About Time will feature new platforming moves, new masks, new abilities, 2 major control schemes, and plenty more. So, have you seen this trailer? Are you interested at all in this? What do you think about a reboot?
I have not. I'm sure it looks gorgeous, though. If any game's gonna remaster, or is this a remaster, or is this just a new game?
It's a new game. Yeah, it's not a reboot. It's just the next in line.
Yeah, let me pull this up.
Yeah, they've changed the art style a little bit. I think it just helps with standing the test of time, but by making it a bit more cell shaded. But it still looks gorgeous.
Is this not kind of the original? This looks to me like the original. Well,
it's just a little bit more cartoony. That's the only difference.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the great things of like if you're doing a more cartoony style, perfect. Like this is there's certain genres now where we're really not going to get that much better looking. Like I guess we could get a bit more Pixar with a lot of these, but Especially with this upcoming gen. Like, you're not getting better, but this already looks amazing.
I would agree.
Uh,
You're not really going to get better. You can help with animations. With I guess you can do cool light technology, ray tracing stuff.
yeah,
But if you could do anything, just faster loading, that kind of stuff, just performance stuff, I guess is really. But yeah, just when you're doing a game like this, you hit a peak where it just already looks so good. You don't
yeah,
have to keep pushing it there. I mean, uh, what is it? Disney, Pixar, they keep pushing the envelope, but they're at a point where it doesn't really need to be done anymore because everything looks so beautiful.
yeah.
But I'm excited. I played a lot of the last one, the Insane Trilogy, the
Oh shit.
remaster of all three, and it was fun. The gameplay is fun. It's brutal at points, but I dig it. And I also have just a soft spot in my heart for Crash Bandicoot growing up. But yeah, so I'm on board. This Toys for Bob, they did the remaster of the Insane Trilogy. So I don't know. People were kind of a little bit up in arms with them taking it over, but I think they would do a good job.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. I guess the question for me is, who exactly is the now? There's definitely an audience, right? But who is the audience? Because I know these games are sort of marketed more towards kids, um, but certainly from what I've been told, the gameplay will fuck you up. No
Yeah.
shit's given. It's there to beat you down. You got home from school. You had a rough day at school, little Billy. No, no, you're not escaping through this game.
No, that's very true. I
So
mean, it is demanding. So hopefully they do a good job of at least like saving those points to the end of the game, or like optional branches you can play to increase the difficulty, but so it's still approachable for, because yeah, it's marketed towards kids. It's like a kid property, but these games are always from the ground up, from the get go, they were super hard.
I guess that's the question too. Is what is the standard for difficulty in a kids game nowadays? Because I remember when it, I assume it was the same for you when I was a kid. We just had whatever we had, and those games were
Yeah.
brutal, right? Like I grew up on Battletoads. Now I'm still shit at Battletoads, but like I was a bloody war veteran. By the time like games started getting a little bit easier, and I don't know if I don't necessarily take that as a badge of honor, but we still enjoyed these games that we couldn't beat,
Right.
and had a lot of fun with that. So maybe kids really won't mind the difficulty. I didn't. To me, it was just the game, but I don't know how it compares to other things. Certainly in Minecraft, where it's I don't think that difficult. I don't know. I haven't played. Um,
Yeah, I forget that you're insane and haven't even played Minecraft. You got to play that, man. It's on PC. You can play it.
why would I? What?
It's fun. I mean, come on. It's like an iconic game at this point. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, you're right. There's an interesting argument there. I mean, you could say, I don't know what kids want in, as far as difficulty goes, but then you look at Fortnite, which is basically a kid's property, and that game is crazy hard. I mean, the ability to build and shoot and all these things you have to keep up with, like that's a difficult game, but kids flock to that. So maybe you
Yeah.
just don't look at it as like limiting the difficulty. You just make the gameplay interesting, and kids take up to it, and it doesn't matter.
I think multiplayer difficulty though is sort of its own Hydra. I don't know if you can hear
Yeah,
that.
that was like a scream or something.
Yeah. But yeah, it's sort of its own Hydra. But that being said, it's multiplayer, so kids get stupid good at it, stupid quick.
Right.
Um, but I mean, it's that thing of where the challenge of like when you do defeat another human, it's so much more satisfying than defeating an AI. Um, that your brain is just willing to let you suffer through all the pain of defeat to get back that victory. So
Right.
I don't know. It's its own. But I'm certainly not out there cranking 90s. Not doing my cha-cha slide and
Yep. Yep.
fighting the. I was gonna say boomers. What are the green things in Minecraft?
The green things. Oh, the creepers.
Oh, creepers. Yeah. I at
Yeah.
least had the last part. I had the ERS.
Just
Same
cranking
difference.
90s on the boomers. Alrighty, Gavin. This next one here is this is pretty interesting too. So this is a Rocksteady reportedly working on a Suicide Squad game. This one was over the weekend here. Jordan Allman of IGN.com writes the article here. A new report claims that Batman Arkham Studio Rocksteady is indeed the developer behind the Suicide Squad game, mentioned in a recent domain name registrations of web domains that were titled SuicideSquad.com, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, and Gotham Knights Game. According to Eurogamer, the London studio has been working on the project for years, and the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League domain is potentially the game's full title, as well as the summation of its content. Eurogamer also says the domains were registered by WB Interactive, that Gotham Knights does refer to WB Montreal's long-rumored Batman Court of Owls game, and that both games will be shown in some respect at the DC fandom event. Previous rumors have alluded to Suicide Squad being canceled at WB Montreal, with recent teases from the studio pointing to a game based on Batman Court of Owls. Some have taken these domain registrations to mean that WB Montreal's project is Gotham Knights, and the long silent Rocksteady, creator of the Batman Arkham series, have a Suicide Squad game lined up. DC is holding a digital event called DC Fandom on August 22nd, where WB Games will be making announcements. Many are already speculating that these games will be revealed or announced at the event. How do you feel about this? This has been a long time coming. They've been teasing the whole Court of Owls thing for a while. I feel like it's weird to even push it to August 22nd, because I thought we were going to hear about this sooner rather than later. But
yeah, it has been cooking for a hot minute. I guess my question is, so each game that Rocksteady's made has been decently bigger than the last. So are they not big enough that they could just split up into two and make two smaller awesome games at this point? Can they make a Core of Owls and a Suicide Squad at the same time?
I think it's possible.
And I think that's the thing I've been wanting for them for a while. They're such a talented developer. Please do something else. We have enough Batman games.
Right.
So I think please give them Suicide Squad. Do something else, especially Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. That sounds really fun. Let's do it. Especially with, they're great storytellers too. All those games, at least the 1.5 that I played, I felt like they told the stories really well. They had a nice evolution with these characters throughout. It would be amazing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, they've never really been my jam, but I understand that people love them. So, across the board, they always get really good reviews. I think the only one that didn't quite hit was maybe Arkham Origins or Arkham Knight. One of the last ones, I think it kind of fell short. But either way, yeah, I mean, I think it's great to see them do something different, even if it's just like dipping into other characters in the DC universe. I know for a while it was rumored or people really hoped they would finally tackle Superman game, and that rumor there's nothing there, so it looks like they were never working on that. But they would have been the perfect studio to try and crack that nut, because it's never been done before.
And
or never succeeded.
Yeah, who knows what it means now that WB has been sold off. How are their new owner, or potentially being sold off? Who knows how their new owners are going to feel about the Batman games? It's tough to say. So hopefully, no matter what, I kind of just want them to work on something else.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
By the way, this article reminded me with the whole Suicide Squad game.com. So in the new New Blood PC conference piece, they put out their websites for all the games that they were showing, and all of them were joke domains. Nice. And speaking of Fortnite, my favorite one was notfortnite.com, which I can't believe was not taken.
Yeah, you think. What did that actually take you to? What was that promoting, or what game was that promoting?
I'm nervous that I have. Hold on. I think it could be Dusk, but I'm really nervous that I have it wrong. Okay, who did they list all the websites?
Did they just flash on screen too, or that's actually like on their website that they had that info?
It was, yeah, they flashed them all on screen for all the different games they showed. Moderators. So yeah, I guess it was not a Fortnite.com. Takes you to Dusk.
Gotcha.
Which is great. I wish I could remember the rest of the joke ones they had. They were really funny. Nice. But anyway, yeah. How are you feeling about this whole thing?
Well, for me, I'm kind of like a bystander. I never really the bits that I played of the past Batman games. I can tell that they're cool. There's something there, but they never like grabbed onto me, and so I realized that I think it's just not for me. Something about the pacing or the way the combat flows, it just I never really liked it. Maybe one day I will actually approach them again and try and have the right mindset, to play it. But it wasn't for me, so I just never touched them. But I'm glad people are getting more content like this. I think these games really go over really well. Maybe I'm more interested in seeing them tackle like a Suicide Squad game. Do they follow more of the movies that we've had recently? Do they kind of separate and go more of a based on the actual like comics? That's
Mhm.
where I find that interesting. I'm really interested to see what they do with that Court of Owls thing. Is that like a huge tonal shift? I'm not sure what happens in that comic that's based on. Is it more gritty? Is it more flashy? I'm interested to see like where they take it as something new.
Right. What if here's the way I could take more Batman. What if they took on Batman, but we're talking Adam West Batman. We're talking shark spray. We're talking riddles written in sky rating.
That'd
Let's
be
get
awesome. I'd actually be very, very down for that. Yeah, we'll see. So I mean, it's what's weird is that the next event they're supposed to show this off at is in August 22nd. That's the DC fandom event. You'd think they'd pair with like say Sony just had their thing. There's theories that they're going to show up there. They didn't. Xbox has their first party event in July, and maybe they could shove something in there. I guess not. So they're going to wait for their own event until August. It seems like that's far away. And if they're not going to show this game until August, I guess it's fair to assume this isn't an early next gen game, early in the year next gen game. This is going to be something that we're going to wait a while till we actually get to play it. So I guess they don't have to hit this early summer. They can show it whenever because it's not going to be out for a while.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's been forever. How long has it been since what is this? Rocksteady?
I feel like it's been a good minute. I mean, the last one, Arkham Knight or Arkham City, was like a good 3 years ago at least. It was like mid PS4.
No memory. I guess Batman Arkham VR was 2016, and I have no idea what this is. No clue. So just first person Arkham. But yeah, Arkham Knight was back in 2015. So I guess that's not as long ago as I thought. Damn, Arkham Asylum was only 2009? No, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, 'cause it was like 360 era, PS3 era, right?
Yeah. Urban Chaos. I thought they did a game before Urban Chaos.
Hmm.
That's crazy. So they just went from Urban Chaos to just right into these legendary Batman games.
Yeah, that's dope. Respect
Uh,
it.
please do something else. Sorry.
Yeah,
They
that's what I'm
just knock
hoping
it out
too.
the park. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at least that they can tackle the stuff around Batman and not just Batman again. Yeah, that's what I'm
Right.
hoping.
Or just like it'd be neat to see them because when they came out with that combat system, now people don't use it as anymore because it very much felt everything samey. It didn't quite feel like you had a ton of agency in it. But when that combat system came out, everyone loved it and was trying to rip it off.
Yep.
It was so cool. So do that was is there possible to do that with something else? I don't know.
That's true. They'd have to rework that mechanic maybe, but I guess it depends on the characters you take over because that really suited Batman because he's slow. He's powerful, but he needs to hide, needs to jump in quickly. And although
Yeah.
when shit pops off, he needs to be able to handle the different thugs at once. Yeah, I wonder how they'll tackle that, but
Yeah.
we'll see. We're still a couple months away from an actual announcement, but Gavin, this next one, I'll go through the facts, then I want to get your take on it because you're pretty big into this streaming world, and I think you got some hot takes too for sure. So this is the streaming or the Mixer drama that happened on Monday. Xbox will shut down Mixer in a new deal with Facebook Gaming. This is Jessica Condit on Engadget.com. Mixer is no more. Xbox is shutting down its in-house live streaming service this summer and transitioning its entire platform to Facebook Gaming. All Mixer services will go dark on July 22nd, and its sites and apps will direct to Facebook Gaming. After July 22nd, native streaming from the Xbox One will only be possible via Twitch, Mixer's largest competitor. There's a quote here. It became clear that the time needed to grow our own live streaming community to scale was out of measure with the vision and experiences we want to deliver to gamers now. This is Xbox head Phil said in an Xbox Wire post. Mixer partners that make the leap to get Facebook Gaming will receive similar status there. And Microsoft says existing agreements will be followed as clearly as possible by the new management. Today's news came as a surprise to the streaming community, especially considering all the work and money that Microsoft has been funneling into Mixer late last year. Microsoft dropped millions of dollars to secure top personalities like FaZe Ewok, Shroud, and the biggest catch, Ninja. It was reported at the time that Microsoft spent 20 million to 30 million to lure Ninja away from Twitch. With today's news, Ninja, Shroud, and other Mixer exclusive streamers are ostensibly free to join Twitch or any other platform. Multiple people involved in the esports and streaming industries are reporting that Ninja and Shroud turned down multi-million-dollar deals with Facebook Gaming amid Mixer's closure. Esports consultant Rod Breslaw said Facebook offered both streamers almost double the amount of their original contracts, but they opted for a buyout from Mixer instead. Ninja and Shroud are now free agents. Yeah, Gavin, what do you think? This is pretty big news, and it came out of the blue. Apparently, even like people that worked and our Mixer streamers had no idea. People that worked in the actual company had no idea. It's pretty big.
Yeah, and it's pretty incredible. I mean, that's the thing is you almost don't expect it, because when I think of a company that's going to throw a whole bunch of money at something for about a year or two and then abandon it, my first thought is Google.
Right.
They're legendary. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still got my Google glasses, but they're the ones legendary for doing this. Not Microsoft. Microsoft's pretty good at committing at a lot of stuff. A lot of the stuff they make is shitty, but they still commit to it.
Right.
So this one's definitely a surprise, and they definitely threw the bills. So I'm guessing there was a lot of number crunching to figure out this was the correct call to be able to just buy out Ninja and Shroud's contracts. And that's incredible for them, and I'm sure it's going to help their egos too, because their viewing audience when they went to Mixer just plummeted. Shroud, always in the 20,000s, 30,000s, I think. Generally one of the highest streamers on Twitch, if not the highest streamer on Twitch most of the time. Ninja was the megastar of Twitch for a while. He definitely shrank down a little bit before he jumped to Mixer, but he was still, he's still legendary. So, they'll probably get some of that. I hope get some of that, but it had to feel bad for them going from this huge. They thought they could bring some of that audience, or maybe they didn't, and they just wanted to take the money. But that sucks for your ego. I don't know. Maybe Ninja enjoyed being because he used to be a smaller streamer, and he used to stream a lot differently. Like he used to kind of earn the hyper, and his name was originally Ninja's Hyper, and he just has this over the top hyper personality that was annoying to a lot of people. Myself included. But when he hit that mega stardom, he kind of calmed down a lot. So maybe he got to enjoy that smaller audience. But that being said, Shroud's been huge forever, so he probably did not enjoy that smaller audience. And his audience would just throw money at him left and right. I'd watch a stream where people are throwing hundreds at him all night long. And I don't know that they were there on Mixer, so maybe having those millions in advance is cool. But
yeah.
It's a weird one. And as we sort of texted about a little bit, Twitch has a non-compete agreement. You're not allowed to, if you're a partner streamer, you cannot live stream on any other platform. And before you even post your content on another platform, you have to wait 24 hours. And so that's why, for all two of you watching, that's why our videos are posted on YouTube 24 hours after we do these, because I am still a partnered streamer for whatever reason. And so that's kind of how that rule works. And they can be very strict on it. So I think they're going to let a lot of people back. I know their tweet said that, that they put out a nice little PR tweet, whatever. So they'll probably have these people back. Probably just as a show of good faith, bring everyone back.
Sure.
But crazy. It was an experiment. It's almost too bad that Twitch can't get some of the technology from Mixer. Now, when Mixer came out, that was the thing. At least they had competition. So when Mixer came out, they said they're almost zero latency, right? So you can interact almost in real time. Whereas Twitch at the time had a 15 to 30 second delay from when you type the chat to when the streamer will see it. 15 to 30 seconds. Streaming was very different. Now it's almost real time. It's still slower than Mixer, but it's a lot quicker. Its magnitude's quicker than it used to be. It was so strange I remember the day when I'd say something on Twitch and someone reacted within a few seconds. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it. It freaked me out because I was so used to when people are laughing in the chat, you try and remember in your head what happened 30 seconds ago, but you can't remember. Um, so it was such a big thing. So I appreciate some of the things uh, that came out of the competition, and that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Now, I guess one aspect of it too is that it's not necessarily Mixer going away, but they're now changing or rebranding or being absorbed into this Facebook gaming thing. How much hope do you have for Facebook gaming succeeding, yeah,
Right.
as another competition to Twitch?
But Facebook has tried this before. I feel like they've tried this 2 or 3 times before. They've came out with their own Facebook gaming, and they brought over some big people. I remember they took. I want to say his name was Omrecker. They've taken on some pretty big Twitch streamers and brought him over, and then those people went back because they're not making the same cash. So if the
Mm,
support's not, it's not even, if the community's not there, that's a huge thing. And on top of that, if there's no community, there's no money. So you can't keep the
right.
big people who are doing this full time in there. We did discuss, if they can get it in the aspect of you can jump in and play with these people live, that'll change the game. That would be a huge deal. Sort of
With like
like,
xCloud and that kind of thing.
yeah, exactly. With xCloud, kind of like Stadia promised they would do, but to this point still haven't. So if they get that, that'll be a big deal. As far as we know,
Right.
yeah.
It seems like either way, if they're able to bring these features over, there's a lot of negativity with Facebook and Facebook gaming, especially with these Mixer streamers. I don't think a lot of them across the board are going to go to Facebook, even though they're given that option. I feel like there's so much negativity, they're going to go elsewhere. So it's like you make that new deal with Facebook, but then you lose those people that were loyal to Mixer because they've been burned. So how do you develop a whole new run of people who want to start up on Facebook gaming?
Yeah.
Besides the people they already have, it's a tough deal to make because I imagine maybe that's more financially. That's where the cards were going. That's where the situation was going to go. They're going to have to do something different as far as like Mixer's end. But the
Yeah.
deal you made, I don't know if that is the most positive with that whole audience.
Yeah. I think the other thing too is like if you look at like ownership, right? If you're gonna go with the lesser of two evils, between Google on YouTube, uh, Twitch, and uh, Facebook, by and large, I don't know. I'm not going to talk about Bezos or whatever. He's the Amazon guy, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But the people running Twitch as a whole are a lot less evil than the people running Facebook. And I don't know about Facebook gaming, but the person running Facebook, and certainly the way Google fucks with people on YouTube. Twitch as a
yeah,
whole, they do a damn good job of promoting a lot of small. They'll even promote on occasion, not a lot, but they'll promote non-partnered streamers on the front page. Black History Month, they're promoting a lot of Black streamers. Gay Pride Month, they're promoting a lot of gay streamers. They promote things that you wouldn't think. They'll promote all these uh, the creative streamers, ASMR. They're promoting things that other platforms probably aren't going to give two shits about. They're just going to go for
mm,
the biggest, most popular people every time, and that's all they care about. Whereas Twitch will do more and do a lot of good stuff. Does so much stuff for charity, and people on these charities stream exclusively on Twitch. So it's they're a lot less evil than the other ones. So it's kind
mm,
of hard if you got to pick a new person.
right.
Kind of hard not to.
And they're kind of the biggest game in town. It's a tough position, but there isn't a lot of real options. I guess there's YouTube, and but yeah, there's tons of issues there too. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean
we'll
that's
see. I'm sure more.
yeah,
Go
and
for
that's
it.
just the thing though. Is like YouTube continuously reiterates to its content creators that it does not give a fuck about you.
Sure.
So it's
Yeah.
a fucking nightmare.
Well, Gavin, we'll see what unfolds with that in the future. But our next article here is about Apex Legends. So there's a Switch version that got announced. We can talk about that. So Apex Legends Switch
Beautiful
developer
stuff.
says the port was challenging but is running well. So this is Chris Carter of Destructoid. So, as we learned recently during the EA Play stream that was over this weekend, Apex Legends is coming to Switch later this year alongside crossplay with all existing platforms. The presentation was very brief, but now a few extra details are coming to light. Speaking to GameSpot, Chad Grenier, game director at Respawn Entertainment, explained that although crafting the port was a challenge, it's running very well. They also highlight that gyro aiming took a while to implement, but it's going to be a good to go by the time Switch port arrives. Grenier also says that that all 5 platforms, including Steam, will be caught up with another and will be the same game by the time the Switch arrives. A lot of the holdup is due to back-end work, which will make sure that players can bring over their account info from prior platforms. It's all sounding good on paper, but we just need to see how the port runs in practice. How do you feel about this Switch port? I don't think we've seen gameplay, or maybe there was, and I'll pull up a trailer. I don't know if they actually showed off Switch, full-blown Switch gameplay of Apex.
By the way, if we're covering this, are we covering the Star Wars game?
I haven't pulled it up, but I could totally, yeah, I can pull that and put that at the end here.
Sweet, we'll know that after this. Yeah, I think we sort of discussed it a little bit via text. I think it's doable. Like they said, it's going to be fucking challenging. You're going to have to simplify a lot of things. But you sort of compare this to, like, you look at the complexity of Fortnite and the verticality, the environment of that, and this is, you know, kind of similar but way less destruction, which is pretty fucking cool. And how complex are the buildings and Apex Legends? I can't really remember. One thing you can't simplify is the collision geometry. No matter what you can walk on is what I have to be able to walk on. That 100% has to be contiguous amongst all platforms. So I definitely think it's doing the one thing I'm definitely a little bit concerned about. So it will have a disadvantage in the fact that it's definitely going to be 30 frames per second most of the time. Right. Whereas other platforms can certainly go faster. A concern I have is gyro aiming. If you've ever played a game that does have a combination of stick aiming and gyro aiming, it's so fucking good. Killzone 2, or maybe it was 3, had it with certain sniper weapons. And it's just that little edge when you have, you know, you got the stick is pretty close, but you just sort of give it a little, and you're right there. People love that in Splatoon. There are other games that have had it as well. That is a huge advantage. Certainly not against PC players, but against other console players, that's a big advantage. So my question would be as well, is PlayStation 4 going to get that? They have a gyro controller. Xbox could be, unfortunately, would be the only one left out.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is astounding because their controller is just as expensive. Yet you look at the PlayStation, the monstrosity that is the PlayStation 3 controller, or 4 or whatever.
4.
So I think that's a very cool addition. But yeah, like I said, that is an unfair advantage. That being said, the frame rate's going to be worse. So
right,
we'll see. Is there going to be a mode where you turn it off? Probably not. That's going to split too many people. Are you legitimately going to be able to play this game? Is it on Stadia?
I don't think it is. I don't think that's one of the ones they have on Stadia.
They really should. Then it'd be the second game ever to be playable on both all consoles, PC, and Stadia, which is only one game currently, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. But yeah, it's I hope all the best. I really think it's doable. It's going to be, like they said, it's going to be hard, but I think it's going to be doable, and it's 100% going to be worth it. That much more player base, and there's people, a free to play game on the Switch. These people are so thirsty for free to play games; they will just drink them up. So, I mean, I'll be curious. Like, is your little nephew going to take this on? I don't know.
I think so. I think there's a lot of players that are growing up with Fortnite, and they see other, you know, first person shooters, and if you can offer them a free version already on their Switch that they can jump in, take their same friends with them. I mean, and it has the same kind of basic style of gameplay as a Fortnite where it's battle royale. I feel like that's a no-brainer to just open up your market completely and just selling gangbusters there. So yeah, I mean, that's a great idea. Assuming it runs well, and you're right, I think they can nail it. It's going to be tough. I imagine they wouldn't approach it if they couldn't. You lock it at 30 frames per second. You just kind of make the geometry more simple, and you're good.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. It'll help reach the audience, which I think probably have PS4s and Xbox Ones or whatever. But and it's out one ear, in one ear, and out the other. Oh, it reaches that audience. Like, I wanted a faster paced Battle Royale, but I didn't want to play Fortnite. And so
Right.
this just popped out of nowhere and bridged that fucking gap. Um, Absolute blast. We need to play it on PC now. See
Yeah.
how the hackers are. I don't know if they're still filling the servers like they used to be. Um, but
Gotcha. Yeah, we'll see. And then with that EA Play event, they also did show off actual gameplay. They ended that was the when I actually jumped onto the stream. That was what I caught at the very end.
oh, they
Was they showed
did.
off? Yeah, they showed off gameplay for the Star Wars Squadrons game that's coming out this October, fall ish.
Yeah.
Did you watch any gameplay of this yet?
I did. I think I watched the press conference. I've forgotten
Hmm.
most of it. I know one thing they said that sounds interesting to me is every single ship is going to play very differently. All
Hmm.
the perks are going to be, it sounds like, changing things pretty drastically. Or maybe that was just an interpretation of what I was told. Um, the graphics look gorgeous. It looks
Yeah.
super immersive. It's probably going to be super fun. They even mentioned like one of the play styles you can play stealthily and like sneak out from behind stuff and take people down.
I think
How's
it's
that
one
going
of
to
the
work?
ships, right?
Yeah, that's super neat. Um,
Yep.
so I could give a shit about flight simulators, but what games have these people had? Nothing. There's no dogfight games. I don't even know if Ace
Yeah.
Combat's still being made anymore. So
You know what?
we
I think that might be the only one. There was a PS4 release of Ace Combat maybe like 2 years ago. I remember seeing people doing reviews, but
yeah,
that's the only thing that comes to mind.
this audience didn't disappear. The games just
Right.
did.
Right.
So yeah, these people thirsty as fuck.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, no, and I was watching that conference and the way they talked about the just the ability to have these different play styles, but also the fact that they're doing a single player that kind of caught me off guard. I expected because I
Oh
think this
right,
thing's
I forgot
releasing.
about that.
Yeah, and it's releasing for like $40. I assumed, okay, there's only multiplayer. That's cool. It makes sense. But no, they're doing a full blown single player campaign that's written and voice acted and everything. And then you have the multiplayer aspect to it. Yeah, it seems like they should offer this for 60 or prices at 60. I feel like that'd be fair. But maybe they're just trying to get out of the gate really competitive with it.
I don't know. I'll be curious to see like how are microtransactions going to work because it's made by EA, so they will be there.
I feel like I need to pull up that tweet, but there was something about how they're not doing any microtransactions. I know that sounds insane, but I feel like I remember seeing that because it's such a response to the negativity with Battlefront that they're avoiding that almost completely. If I have that correct, it was I want to say Mitch Dyer. He's the guy who used to work for IGN, and he's writing this game. I want to say he's the one who tweeted that, but I will pull that up here.
Let's see how
But
long till that tweet is taken down.
if they're able to do something like that, that'd be pretty nuts. But there is a business side to it, and I kind of don't have any hopes that they would really avoid not having microtransactions.
Right. I guess the thing I could see from it, like if you're doing cosmetic, that is legitimately gonna take me out of it a little bit. Star Wars looks like fucking Star Wars. If you're riding around in a Merry Christmas TIE fighter with Christmas balls hanging off the side of it, it is gonna take you out of that. So yeah, I don't know really how you do it. You're paying a budget price. Fuck, I hope it works.
Yeah, I can't seem to find that same tweet, but could be wrong. But we'll see what they actually go into detail. Okay, yeah. So this is from Mitch Dyer. He's the writer on Star Wars Squadrons. So he tweeted zero microtransactions, none, and just a link to the Game Informer article about it. So that's what he says. He's riding the game. I don't know if EA says, yeah, that's cool, but we're actually going to add, cool headphones or whatever you can buy in the game, something dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we'll see.
It's just another moment of every molecule procedure.
Yeah, who is that? I know that sounds familiar with.
It's No Man's Sky, which it still fucking says that in the trailers, which annoys the shit out of me. Why are we still doing this dumb buzzword for something that's not in the game? Nor
Right.
why fucking would it be?
All right, Gavin, let's kind of run through these last ones here. This is a big one, though. Cyberpunk 2077 delayed and next-gen console upgrades will be free. So this is Eddie Makuch. I want to say that's how you say his name, GameSpot. So although the game is content complete, CD Projekt Red delayed Cyberpunk 2077 to November of this year for bug fixing. The developer subsequently held a call with investors regarding the delay, and during the 45-minute presentation, the studio confirmed that Cyberpunk 2077's multiplayer is also delayed and spoke about the PS5 and Xbox Series X editions, including how they will be free for existing players. Cyberpunk 2077's expansions and multiplayer modes are going to be delayed proportionally with the game release. When it comes to multiplayer, similar to the expansions, its launch is going to be proportionally delayed as well, although multiplayer is a bit more distant. Anyway, the company said. On the subject of 2077 being playable on PS5 and Xbox Series X, the company said that the current gen game will be playable on those consoles at launch with a next gen patch that adds some improvements based on the horsepower of the consoles. It will look better on next generation consoles, the company said. However, a more robust update will come later. This next gen edition will be free for everyone who bought Cyberpunk 2077 on PS4 and Xbox One. The full details on the upgrade scheme, however, have not been announced. Another unknown is when exactly the new versions of Cyberpunk for PS5 and Xbox Series X will release. Management said on the call that they are unsure and undecided right now. It could be 2021, but it might not, the company said, adding that it never had an internal plan date for the new versions. Yeah, so it's delayed, which is a huge bummer, but it's always good with this kind of stuff because it's such a massive game. They have to nail everything, they have to work out all the bugs. But yeah, how do you feel about the delay and also the whole next gen free upgrade thing?
That's pretty cool, and I definitely like the fact that, and I'm sure it's not very hard for them at all. Where like when it first comes out the gate and the next gen consoles are there, they're like, yeah, a few things will be turned up. It's like, well, yeah, that's not hard. Somebody just upped a value for a lot of this stuff on PC. You're going to be able to change that value anyway, so that was
Right.
probably not super difficult for them. Um, so that whole next generation thing works. I think the thing that a lot of us are worried about is this team has been crunching. CD Project Red is known for some torturous crunch. They promise they get better. So
Right.
far, I've heard that promise has been unfulfilled. So these poor fucking people who've been crunching for a long time are extending that crunch, and it's just going to be miserable. It's good to know that story content is complete and they're just ironing out the bugs. That is the way development's supposed to go. You need to railroad your fucking story through, get the side quest done, and then clean it all up. I don't know that
Mm.
I personally agree with that method, but that being said, these people are a lot more fucking successful than me, so they're probably right. But yeah, so it's just worry for the people that are working on this. That's so much stress. I'm perfectly happy waiting another year if we can calm it down on them. But I know that's not the way you run a business. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, really extending the time just gives them more time to crunch, basically, which is a bummer. And with CD Projekt, they mentioned months ago, or maybe even a year ago now, they were going to change their how they approach crunch, and they swore to like make sure it's not something that happens as much as they can help it. But it seems like they ended up just falling back into it. I don't know. We don't know the
yeah,
details. Maybe
we
their
don't.
crunch is better. I don't know the inner workings, but it seems like either way, it's going to be a lot of long hours. I'm hoping that they get somehow time off mixed in there or shorter hours within the day, but I doubt it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. It's all hearsay, but I
But
don't
I think
believe
yeah,
them.
I think we can
Yeah,
assume that's what's going to go on though.
so it'll be interesting, but I'm super excited for this game. One thing
Yeah.
I heard that I think is going to be interesting is everyone's expecting it to be an open world game, but somebody pointed out that I don't think they've ever at one point said that it's open world.
Mm.
So it could be super linear, and a lot of people are going to get upset and get their hopes up because it's not what they thought it was. Um,
That's interesting. I wouldn't mind just somewhat of a open world, 1.5 where it's like you have more of a range, but it's still kind of you're brought in to hit these story beats.
an open
I don't
world
necessarily
what?
mind that. I wouldn't mind like them, or maybe they're going with an approach where it's like open somewhat, but you still are somewhat pulled into like a hallway where you have to hit these story beats and kind of
Yeah.
make sure you're following along this path, but that path is wide. I that appeals to me, but yeah, if people are expecting full blown open world like Witcher, and that's not what's going on, there might be some anger there. You know what? There is a playable build that reviewers or game industry people are playing now. And I
Mm.
think after their Nightwire event, they're able to talk, like a preview event, they're able to talk about what they played. So maybe that will help get some more details on what the current build is, how do you play it, what some of the details are. But I know they are going to go public with that very soon.
Oh, I didn't know
I
about
just don't
that.
have
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah, I don't have it listed, but yeah. So they have a playable build that does work. Industry vets are playing it, and they're able to. That embargo lifts eventually, where they can give a preview, not a review, but a preview of the current build.
Yeah, and I think you could get a benefit from uh, making it a little bit more linear, and certainly something I saw with Deus Ex is Deus Ex because you're jumping around from these different areas. It's not as linear. Like it is it's a wide area, but it's not super open world. There's only 2 to 3 side quests per area. Almost kind of similar to Outer Wilds, right? Where you have so many side
Mm,
quests as you're going through your main quest. And if we're kind of doing that similar thing, I think that would be pretty good. And when you say, spread out and go through the linear, that's sort of how I hear. I've had described to me Last of Us 2. Is that something you can kind of confirm with the way that plays?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's not open world, but it's so wide it almost feels that way. You're kind of able to approach it the way you want to, but you're still kind of kept in line. Very
yeah,
similar to Uncharted Lost Legacy. They did the same thing.
yeah. I almost want to describe that. Like the term to me is like bandwidth, right? It's linear, but it's got bandwidth. The hose is pretty
Mm,
big. You can bounce around and do stuff, but you're still pushing forward.
right.
And if that gets to be a trend, that can be a really unique trend. And I'd be curious to see if that kind of eases off and makes development easier, while still allowing for people to get more agency in the way they play. And that could certainly make it so leveling, you're not getting over leveled by the time you get to certain areas, which would allow
Mm,
for you to make enemies tougher. That was a thing that was annoying about Outer Wilds, or no, other games like Outer Wilds did it pretty good because you were going through, so it get gradually get tougher. But other ones you got to
gotcha.
auto scale, like in Fallout or in Skyrim. You
Because you
can't
could go
just
anywhere and meet the end boss basically, right out the gate. Yeah.
exactly. So certainly advantages to sort of that methodology, but
Gotcha. Yeah, we'll see. I think we're gonna get more info. They have that Nightwire event where CD Projekt Red is going to show off gameplay, a trailer. I think that's like the 25th, 6th ish. I know it's coming up this week, so we'll see that. But
Nightwire. What
yeah,
is
I want
this?
to say Nightwire City. I think they're calling it something like that.
Nightwire City.
You could work on a theme song for
Oh, boo.
it.
When is this?
It's very soon. I think it's this week, like Friday or Thursday or something.
Asking me to disable.
Okay. And
Uh, that's this month. It's been delayed from June 11th to June 25th.
yep, and today's
So
the 23rd, so
Thursday.
that is Thursday. Yeah, so we'll get some more info soon. We also, this next one I'm going to skip over. The only reason I brought it up was just in context with the Cyberpunk news, that the fact they're doing that free upgrade for next gen. So Marvel Avengers is also going to do that. They announced that Monday. They're going to do that same free upgrade. If you buy it on current gen, you buy the next gen consoles, it's going to be free upgrade to that next gen version. And also your save will transfer over as well.
Yep. Kind of,
So I
kind
just
of a NATO.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
good. Good segue into the next gen stuff. So some of these last ones are about Nintendo. Nintendo reportedly stepping away from mobile games. This is Joe Scrubbles of IGN.com. Nintendo is reportedly retreating from the mobile gaming market, and currently has no new mobile games in development. A Bloomberg report indicates that Nintendo has been underwhelmed by its mobile games' financial performance and is now preferring to concentrate on making games for its Switch console, following the huge success of games like Animal Crossing, which contributed to a 12-year high in share price. Analyst Sirkin Toto told Bloomberg that since the release of Mario Kart Tour in fall of 2019, Nintendo's mobile pipeline is empty. The analyst added that the huge success of Switch has reduced the need and the pressure to create mobile game success at the company. Nintendo has previously said that it will now concentrate on its current mobile games, such as Mario Kart Tour and Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. The company's mobile development partner, DNA, has reportedly also said not to expect new games until the end of the Japanese fiscal year, 31st of March 2021, implying there's no Nintendo mobile games coming out anytime soon. Nintendo's move out of the mobile arena to concentrate on Switch is likely to be a popular decision among players. We've written previously about how the company's mobile output hasn't amounted to much and how it doesn't stand up to the legacy of Satoru Iwata. Yeah, Gavin, how do you feel about these mobile games? I guess I never minded their foray into it, but I always hoped that it didn't take away from the Switch stuff. And I think now it's good for them to focus solely on that because that's where the money is for sure.
Yeah, I think the disappointing thing is when they came out the gate, they came out pretty hot, and they were making these games like with the Mario game where it was based on one button, and they were really taking advantage of the touchscreen and the simplicity and making these controls feel good. And they did some really cool stuff with the three or the DS back in the day. So it's definitely disappointing that they didn't hit it with that Nintendo magic, and it felt like a lot of skeezy mobile games. So
Mm,
that's they kind of ruined their own legacy on that one.
right.
So
Yeah, it
it's
makes sense. And then
Yeah.
with Animal Crossing doing so well, it's like why spend any resources at all on this market that when you see the return on investing something like a game with Switch,
Yeah.
giving the actual um, the development quality behind it, you can do so well. So why worry about a mobile game where you're limited on the hardware ability, you're limited on the input? Yeah, you can make creative experiences because of that, but you have the Switch for that. So like just kind of go full force into it.
Yeah. It's kind of too bad that they didn't bring back some fun touchscreen games like, WarioWare Touch or
That's true.
Metroid Prime Hunters was a blast on touchscreen, and the controls are stupid simple. So yeah, it's definitely disappointing that they didn't do more with it, especially with that backup library. But you fuck it up, you fuck it up, and it'd be hard for people to put their trust back into it, whereas elsewhere they have trust coming out they asshole. So
Yep. Yep. It's true.
what can you do?
What can you do, Gavin? This next one. So you're the Smash Bros. Expert. So I'm going to divert this to you. But there was some
That's
news on Smash Bros.
a stretch.
Now I'd say you're the fighting games expert for sure.
Sort of
Um,
a pun going on the
oh,
new
you, damn it!
character.
You know what? I should have caught that, but I'm too stupid. Min from Arms announced as DLC fighter for Smash Bros. Ultimate, also Vault Boy. Joe Screbbles of IGN has the article. Min from Arms will be the latest Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC fighter. She will become available on June 29th for $5.99 and is also included as part of a purchase of Fighters Pass Volume 2. Announced by series creator Masahiro Sakurai from his own home, the spring armed fighter will also be able to they will be able to use both of her extended limbs for a variety of attacks. Unlike most characters, the A and B buttons are mapped to one each of Min's arms rather than for regular and smash attacks. As in Arms itself, Min's arm attachments can be swapped, offering a variety of different effects. New Mii fighter costumes include Njara from Arms, Haichachi from Tekken, Kali and Mary from Splatoon, and Vault Boy from Fallout. All of the costumes will be also available on June 29th. Min and the rest of the announced content makes up Challenger Pack 6, the first of 6 new fighters being added to Smash Bros. Ultimate before December 2021, and part of the Fighters Pass Volume 2. Min marks a change from the plethora of sword-using characters, particularly from Fire Emblem. Even Sakurai himself has admitted there are too many Fire Emblem characters in the game, so we're hoping Min marks the start of a variety of more imaginative characters in Fighters Pass Volume 2. How do you feel about this announcement?
I think people have been really wanting this for a while. One thing, it was kind of dumb. Like they announced it was going to be a fighter from Arms, right? Um, but they didn't say which character it was going to be. I don't know, particularly with me, I don't know how much of the gaming audience really knows any of these different characters in Arms from a fucking hole in the wall. To me, they
Right.
all look the same. Uh, just being fully prejudiced to Arms,
To Arms characters?
they all look the same. I know there's one big chungus among them, and that's about
That's
all
true.
I know. So I could give a shit. But that being said, these guys at the Smash team do the most amazing job of really matching the gameplay of these characters to to the game and making it work. You look at the way the Street Fighter characters and the Street Rage characters kind of take those classic button inputs and they'll come out stronger in there. Or I'm sure I have better examples. The guy from the RPG, and he has all these like hundreds of moves, or not hundreds, but he has a ton of moves.
Huh.
They do these really interesting jobs incorporating that gameplay. So the fact that this character, like in Arms, I assume, A button is mapped to one arm and B button is mapped to a different arm, despite the fact that that's so very different than the way any other characters work, they're still going to that next level of creativity, and I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Good on them.
Yeah, it's dope. It's really cool to see. I wish it would be a full blown character, but seeing Vault Boy a part of this too, like I would love to just make him a character. But I feel like the whole me thing really give them legs to add all these different properties in, and not necessarily have to have like a full blown character. It's just like a skin because it's just your me player skin, right? That just goes over that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a
Gotcha,
costume, but it's fun.
gotcha.
It's
Yeah,
fun. It'd be nice to see the Mii's get more playtime. I don't remember the last time I've seen one in a tournament. I would love that. You could really be fronting on people in your Vault Boy costume. So somebody's got to For as balanced as these characters are, I don't see them getting a lot of love.
Gotcha. Is it because they're just not well balanced or rounded, or because I
That
feel like
would
people
be
would play them if they could, right?
Yeah, that would be my assumption is that they're probably missing some abilities that, really take them up a couple of tiers.
Gotcha.
Even though there are those low tier gods out there, yeah, I'm just not seeing it with me fighters.
I see. Interesting. Well, Gavin, this last thing here is this game called Helix 2. What can you tell me about this game before we watch this
I can't
trailer here?
remember. I just remember I saw it on Steam, and I remember seeing this trailer because it's fucking weird. So let me know when you're gonna start it.
Yeah, so I have it queued and I'm ready to hit play, okay?
All right, ready?
So I'm going to hit play in three, two, one.
This is
So so far it's very cartoony, cell shaded almost, or like live
yeah.
action. What the hell?
It's all of the above.
Or like hand animated.
And this is a sequel from a weird as fuck game too.
Oh,
And they're just gonna
oh, this
take
kind of
it.
looks like a fucking nightmare. What is it with
Right.
the animation style with the hands? Like, whoa.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, it's got a lot of like Earthbound influences. I think I can't remember. Yeah, there. That's oh god,
Okay, so here's
it's
some gameplay. So it's like turn based, or yeah, is that?
fucking kill it with fire.
Wow. Did you ever watch Twin Peaks? It's almost like the dream sequences in Twin Peaks.
No, it's
Um,
not.
yeah, it's kind of weird. Or also Beetlejuice when they go to the underworld or whatever. It's kind of like that.
This does make me think of Beetlejuice for sure.
That was a dope flying scene.
Oh,
That's nice.
yeah, that looks cool. Is that actually 3D?
I think so.
Yeah, they just have a really weird filter that
Yeah.
matches the 2D graphics. I'd be curious to why is there
What? Something about the animation is so creepy, but still super awesome at the same time.
I definitely appreciate that this is 100% what the developer wanted this to look like. We've
Oh, I
reached this.
imagine.
If you've got a weird, freaky acid trip dream that you want to put on people, you can do it now.
Yeah, I love the like the
Ugh.
first person with commanding the attacks, but the way they animate it, it's just like because they're missing frames, it's not quite, like real time, so it just looks off, but adds to the
Yeah,
creepiness.
yeah, absolutely.
I have no idea what is going on. You know what? In Beetlejuice, the wife, the mom that makes the sculptures, these are
Uh-huh.
the sculptures. It's like that style. And then you have the
Yeah.
Mick Moon guy melting.
Is that your death screen? Is that what's Yeah, so I just want to share this nightmare fuel with you.
Thank you. I
Um,
appreciate this.
I mean, I'm definitely glad people are out there making this weirdy weird.
Oh, for sure.
And it'd be really if I think if I saw some good reviews for it, I'd probably give it a shot.
Now, is
That
this out
being,
yet?
yeah, it just came out. Let me check it
Oh,
on Steam. See how it's doing. Um,
Helix 2 is developed by Mason Lindroth. What else? What other games have this dev made?
Helix One.
Oh, that makes sense. Was it the same like creepy style too? Like, is this like a step up or?
I'd have to look. So
Uh,
far, 56 reviews. Very positive. Let's look at um, well, somebody who did love the first one didn't like it.
mm,
By Platinum Jesus, who's reviewed 100 products or no 17 products. Oh boy, Helix 2. I've played the original Helix many times, even going as far to do Wayne only runs. Wayne only runs, kid.
whoa.
Just because it was so fun to replay. After playing through all of Helix 2, I was equally amazed by the experience. I'm not going any further. Mario Tyrea's voice. Uh, Somebody said you can't eat tube steak in this one, so that's
Oh, pff,
somebody
that's a
said
0 out of 10.
my wife let me or left me.
I mean, yeah, that's something to be expected playing this shit in the living room.
And anyone giving this game a bad review will never be happy with anything. So
Well, he's not wrong about that. Wow. No, I definitely have to try this out. It's so weird, so creepy, but still like because it's such in that direction, like it's kind of awesome.
So
Defeating Gibby only with Wayne.
now I've subjected that to. Oh, by the way, Titanfall 2. We should play some multiplayer this weekend because now that it's out on Steam, people are playing
Right.
it. And
Yeah, it's dope. So I assumed it was just like the campaign, but that makes sense. It's a multiplayer too. That's awesome.
I don't know if you can play Uplay versus Steam. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to. To
Right.
me, that wouldn't make sense. Also, another game that came out, Hardspace Shipbreaker. So far, people are liking it. And it's a weird game where you tear apart ships and try not to die while you're doing it and scrap them. That's neat.
Nice. That sounds cool. I'll check that out.
Yeah.
Awesome,
Your PC can probably run it.
Well, I hope so. Put enough money and time in this fucking thing. It better be able to play everything. So, okay. Yeah. All right, Gavin. Yeah, we'll end it there. For the week, where can they find you online?
For the week, Barbados. That's I'm gonna hide out from the Rona there. I'm gonna sit in some delicious Mount Gay rum and take it from there.
Do your taxes there and kind of offshore accounts?
I still got to do my taxes. Anyway, you can find me on Twitter at Drunk Devs.
I feel like that deadline went and passed, but or did they extend it with the taxes?
Yeah, it keeps getting extended. It's out to July now.
Oh dang! Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Partied up without Uncle Sam knowing, I guess. All right, yeah, you can find us on Twitter as well, Plastic Card Pod on Twitter. That is it for us this week. We'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.